All right, I'm going to talk about how to pull up all of the holdings and weight of those holdings for a given mutual fund. You can see on the right side here, I've already done that for FSAMX. It's returned a pie chart here of everything it's invested in. You can see here Taiwan Semiconductors is the second highest one, and that's a company. It's very common for these emerging market ones. But the first one here is another mutual fund. So we don't really know what that 12.6% is invested in. So we have to do this all over again for this specific mutual fund. And so I'm going to record the process as I do that. So if we look here on Fidelity's page here, this is a Fidelity fund. We come to the information page, we scroll down, and we see top 10 holdings down here, and it shows us a quarter of this fund is invested in these 10 stocks. It shows us that there's 214 holdings, so that means 204 make up the 75% remainder. But when we click on more, you see it doesn't give us any more information. And so we really have no way of knowing what all of the holdings are. So you come here and look it up, and this is a Reddit thread where a Fidelity representative responded. He's asking the same question: how do I check all stocks in a fund? You see here that they say, remember that mutual funds are proprietary, so not all competition details, including holdings and weight, may be available to the public. So they don't want to tell you. But it is public information. They have to report this to the SEC, and then the SEC makes it public through their website. So I'm going to show how we can go through that process of figuring out what's inside of all of these. All right, so the first thing to do, we'll come up to Google and search SEC Edgar. Go ahead and click on the first one. Now I'm sure over time the layout here will change. This is how the layout exists now. As the layout changes, just come in here, try to use common sense to figure out where to go to search. But it'll be something similar to this. We'll come here, we'll scroll down to mutual fund search. We'll see the one I'm going to use is fast search. I'm going to grab the symbol here, FEMVX. And so we'll click on the one we want, Fidelity SIA Emerging Markets. And we're looking for an import-P filing. We can see that's the very first one right here. It's filed recently, about a month and a half ago. Click on Documents. And then we'll click on primary doc.xml. It also has an HTML. You can play around with how you want to download this data, but I've found this way is the most effective. We'll grab the XML, we'll come to Save As. We'll find a place on our computer to save that information. So I'm going to come down here and just type in the ticker. That way we can separate it out. And then what we'll do from here, we'll right click on this, come open with. I'm going to open with Excel. Click as an XML table. That'll pop up the Excel. I'll say OK here. And then it'll create this table in Excel, and all the columns will already be laid out. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to scroll all the way to the right. There's a lot of columns here we got to get to, but eventually we'll hit something where the top ones are blank. And this is the area that we want here. So we can see your title. This is a list of all of the holdings, and then we want percent value as the percentage. There's some other information here, might be of interest to you, but not of interest to me. So I'm going to highlight all of these in the middle. I'll say hide. I will click on the title column, scroll down, and uncheck the blanks to get rid of everything that's not a holding. And then I'll come to the percent value and sort largest to smallest. And that'll give us our list. What I'll do next is click on the very first one, hold down Shift, right arrow, hold down Control, down arrow, copy that with Control C, come over to another sheet here and paste in those values. And that gives us our list. And so if we want to just get a list, we can stop here. This gives us a good idea of what it's in and all the weight. If we want to have the visual, I created a Python script that uses Matplotlib to help visualize how this works. And so I'll show that next. We want to move sheet 2 to the very front. So we'll start by saving this. Come up to Save As. We'll browse to the place on the folder. This is going to be it. And then we'll say FEMVX breakout. All right, so here is the code already written. We're going to have to change some minor things, but I've been using this for all of them, and it really quickly prints that chart. So the thing we're going to have to change is the ticker symbol here. We're actually based on, since this is inside of the FSAMX, we're going to change this to where we're going to keep that one, and then we're going to say FEMVX here. Then we'll change this one right here. So you just have to use some common sense up here as to where the file folder is in your computer, but you can see here we want to just find that FEMVX breakout Excel. And then down here we can change this one as well, just for visual purposes. So we'll click on this and run it. And as this is running, important things to remember are going to have to install Python along with these packages, so Matplotlib, Pandas, and NumPy in order to get the Python script to work. And there we go. And so we can expand this out, and we can see that this mutual fund also, the highest one is Taiwan Semiconductors. So remember, on the original one we had Taiwan Semiconductors as like 6%, and then this mutual fund was 12%. This mutual fund has 10% of that 12% in Taiwan Semiconductors. So that means it's another, what, 1.2%. So we could add on the 6% plus the 1.2. That means in total, there's total exposure there to Taiwan Semiconductors of about 7.5%. We see a bunch of other companies here. So this is a quick guide on how to go about looking this stuff up. It is a bit of a process, but if you follow this, hopefully you'll be able to print out a chart like this and be able to easily visualize what all these things are invested in.